What's up, comic fans? And it's time for that new comic book day haul plus review where I'll go over a little bit of what happens in each book without trying to give away too much. Plus, we got some 50 centers that I picked up, and we got one book that's sort of current, but I just decided to read it now because it's been on the pile of books that I haven't finished. We're gonna get into all that right after this.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Welcome back. Welcome back! Alright, and yeah, if you like comics, you're in the place to be. Let's get into the books. Let's talk about it. Let's do it. Let's be about it. Without further ado, here's some 50 centers. All the same run, all the same character. We got Spider-Woman number 2. Alright. And this is the first appearance of Octavia Vermis. Alright. She's a former daughter clone test subject of Octavio Vermis, I believe. Anyway, former Hydra guy. She kind of escapes, does her own thing. Wants to become her own person. Kind of a main villain in the early... main antagonist in the early Spider-Woman run. Alright, and then we got Spider-Woman number 3. I believe Octavia gets turned into a dinosaur. And I think that's kind of what you got going on there. And they're still fighting. These covers are pretty dope. So I am really loving the Spider-Woman covers on these 50 centers. Alright. 3 is not really a spec. Maybe it's the second appearance of Octavia. Alright, we got Spider-Woman number 3 with the classic costume, right? So they go from this, like, mostly black with the red to this red costume after that, right? And this is the first appearance of the, I think this is Brother of Swords. So it's like a group. So that's the first appearance. And then, we got issue number 16. That's right. This is the right way. That's upside down, believe it or not. This is the right way. And this is the first full appearance of Marchand. Rebecca Marchand. That's what it is. She's got some disabilities. And she doesn't really have use of her legs. This is the first full appearance of her in her superhero, or as a superhero, in her superhero costume. I believe issue 1 is her actual first full appearance of that character, Rebecca Marchand. And here we have issue number 16, celebrating 30 years of Deadpool. So this is the anniversary cover by your boy, Rob Liefeld. Not really any feet here. So, he's notorious for his feet. Proportions are okay. Nobody's too barrel-chested, or, limbs aren't too crazy. Alright, let's keep the party going. Here we go. This is issue number 19. And this, I believe, is the first cameo of the Anti-Arachnine, which is kind of Spider-Woman's version of the Sinister Six. So that's issue 19, and that's the first cameo. And then this 20 should be the first full appearance. And this is the D cover. So this is not the A cover. The A cover, would have looked more in this style. This is the D cover, but it was the only cover I could find. But here you see you got some cover appearances on there. So that's that. Those were my 50 centers, my Spider-Woman haul. So not a bad haul. Try to fill in that gap that run as it goes. I definitely have issue 1, have a couple of the other issues. So trying to fill it in. A couple of minor keys there, nothing too crazy. But for 50 cents, why not? All right, let's get into this week's books. But before that, I do have Flashpoint Beyond 6 of 6, Jeff Johns' masterful ending to this story. I thought for a while it was really convoluted and maybe a little bit too much for your basic, and you know what, this is just my bias, maybe too much for the basic comic audience to grasp or understand what is going on here. But essentially, the Flashpoint was put into a snow globe, right? Everything that happened, all that Flashpoint stuff, just contained to a snow globe. And in that globe is a world where Thomas Wayne is alive and Bruce Wayne is dead, all right? Martha Wayne is alive and she's the Joker, and it just goes on and on. I don't want to give you too much because I think this is just a series you should read. Jeff Johns is a really good writer, right? Regardless of what we say, regardless of how long it actually takes for a book to come out, to the point where DC decides that that was going to be the direction that all DC books were going to go in, and it takes so long that DC is like, you know what, we're going to go in another direction. We're going to move on from this. You can finish your run on the book, but, you know, we're going to do something else. Just a really good read. Check it out. You can see Thomas Wayne in this thing. You're like, oh, he is an uber villain. And then towards the end, he has that kind of redemption. And you're like, all right, Thomas Wayne, you may not be the best Batman. You may not live by the same rules or codes or ethics that Bruce does, but there are some redeeming qualities, and so you deserve to be a version of the Batman. All right, we're gonna move on now to Marvel, and with Marvel, we're gonna hit up the first book from Marvel. Didn't kill this book in my previews of this week. If you're ever looking for whatever books are coming out during the new comic book week, look for that video. I usually drop it on a Monday night, occasionally Monday morning, Sunday night. If things are really hectic, it'll come out on Tuesday morning, but you'll get it within those 3 days. Sunday being the earliest, Tuesday morning being the absolute latest. That previews the books coming out for the week. And I was like, can't believe they're giving Mary Jane powers, right? Spoiler alert. Mary Jane has powers in this book. Is it the first time she has powers in a comic? I don't think so, but the thing is, Mary Jane has these powers. Doesn't want anybody to know. Black Cat doesn't know. Nobody knows. It's all tied into the dark web. There's monsters, demons, right? Possessing items. Basically, Mary Jane has a family now. If you're reading the new ASM run, right? She's dating a guy who has kids. The family's being attacked. And she's using these powers to help kind of save them. The weird thing is, they're random, and they're playing it off like it's a slot machine, right? And three different, symbols are come up, and it leads to a power. Mary Jane doesn't know what power she's gonna get until she calls on the powers, to happen. And then sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing, but it's always a power, right? So she can have a flaming sword, or she can turn into pudding. That's kind of what happens there. All right, and you got Black Cat, who's having some issues with, with MJ. She said, she'd, stay away from Peter, but MJ broke up with Peter, and now she's kind of like, should I tell her, kind of want to get together with Peter again. And we have a dope J. Scott Campbell cover. Well, we're just, talking about stuff and riffing here on this book. But Jed MacKay does a really good job on this book, okay? And it's written really well. And whatever trepidations, whatever reservations I had about having Mary Jane have powers, we're kind of put at ease with this book, okay? So if you want to see MJ have powers, you want some Black Cat in your life, and you want to see what's happening in Dark Web, pick this up. I really enjoyed that read. Really good. All right, Marvel. Still, Black Panther, number 12. Black Panther's been a good read, right? And you have the Alex Ross covers. Let's not get lost on that before we proceed. So the whole gist of what's been happening in the book up until now is the Black Panther had a secret cell organization for Wakanda that would be activated if needed to take out world leaders if they were causing issues, that kind of thing. In some ways, it could have been used to take over the world for Wakanda if needed. I don't think T'Challa was going to do that, but that was there also set up. It also spied right? And in his workings with this covert sleeper cell of agents, right? We also had a lot of spying on superheroes to know what their weaknesses are. Similar to what Batman would do with the Justice League, right? You had Black Panther doing it with the Avengers, and I believe it was called Kill Switch, right? So if they ever needed to stop any of these superheroes, he could hit the kill switch. It all comes blowing up back in his face when he finds out Jai, who was like his best friend, fakes his death, kind of rises his own army, uses the information that Black Panther has put together to essentially shut down the internet and kind of put the world at a freeze. So now Black Panther's got to solve that issue, right? Since he kind of started the issue. And in a previous issue, the Avengers tried to infiltrate one of the hubs for the internet, and these guys just, knew everything, knew every way to stop them, etc. So now Black Panther has to put together a team of people they don't have intel on, and that's going to include guys like Tosin Odoye, who's really big, right? If you got that Black Panther 3 issue, that cover A, right, is selling for $30 to $50 now, right? And at its peak was probably a $100 book. Craziness. But you got that new character, Tosin Odoye. You got another one, Gentle, Shuri. He's put Shuri in there, and a couple of other characters, if you will. All people who the Black Panther trusted enough not really to put a dossier out on them, information on how to stop them. So that's where this issue is going. Black Panther's got to put together a squad to stop this terrorist organization put together by his former best friend Jai. Moving on, all right, we're going to DC. We have Catwoman, Love Kills, number 50, and that is exactly what happens in here. We have a couple of deaths. Batman's around. Batman is not going to stand for that. We have some talking between Catwoman and Batman. Here you see Catwoman in cuffs, kind of foreshadowing what happens in here. All I will say is 2 people die. Catwoman ends up in jail. Read the book. I think it's good. It's worth a read if you've been following it. It's issue 50, by the way, so it's a little chunkier than the usual book. So, and that's all good. Catwoman 50, definitely worth a read. All right, moving on from DC, we have Image, we have Gunslinger Spawn, Javier. The Gunslinger is it's a funny book. He's a funny character. He's a cool character. He's out for revenge, and that's what this book is about. But we have another character, Speedster, who's also out for revenge, and they kind of butt heads at the end of this book, right? I don't know who this new character is, so this could be a first appearance. Seems like a speedster. Looks like they're both after the same people, and it looks like they may end up fighting each other for the honor of taking out the bad guy they're after, and the revenge factor, right? Who gets that revenge? You got Puppeteer on the cover. I think this is a dope cover, by the way. And it's just a good book. I think we're gonna keep going because I don't really think I have too much on this. Just the new hero in there. So if you're looking for a brand new hero, check it out. All right, we got Berserker number 11. This is a 12 issue maxi series between Keanu Reeves and Matt Kent writing this. And basically, the Berserker has it looks like he's achieved mortality. At the same time, the doctor who was running the Berserker program and trying to create an army of Berserkers, looks like he's been able to replicate the process that turned Inuit into the Berserker. So what happens? When he goes into Berserker mode, he goes berserk, and basically the doctor is replicated that procedure, and he goes into berserk mode, and he's ripping people apart. And they're like, "Hey, Inuit, how do you feel?" And he's like, "Mortal." And that's pretty much how it ends. Cliffhanger. So we'll see. Issue 12's coming. That seems to be the end of this arc and perhaps the end of the series. It'll wrap it up. I thought Berserker started off like gangbusters, right? First 4 or 5 issues. And then, first 4 issues, let's say. And then somewhere in the middle, just kind of lost me, fizzled off, went a little bit too much to the storytelling side and not a lot of that action that I thought we were going to get from the series. So I think the series started off in a way that pushed you in one direction, like this is going to be like John Wick every issue, and it wasn't. Not that it's a bad thing, there's a story behind the issue, and it looks like 12 is going to be action-packed. You're going to have to wait till, I think, February or March for that issue 12. So we've got a couple of weeks, right? We've got over 2 months before we get to find out what happens here. That is a little bit of momentum killing, but Berserker, if you can get it in trade, I think it's worth a read. I would not get it in individual issues, though. Just get the trade. Save yourself some time, some headache, and plow through it. All right. Next up, we got Vanish number 4. And a lot of people have been killing Donny Cates because of his recent run on Hulk. That's fine, I get it. But if you want some good old-fashioned Donny Cates goodness with some Ryan Stegman on the side, right? If you enjoyed his Venom run, go ahead and pick up Vanish. If you want some gore, some blood and guts, you know, if you want blurring of who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, right? We have a person who started off as a good guy, but his actions in the book totally don't, you know, lead me in that direction that he's still a good person. And then we have some bad guys who, you know, used the same old story, you know, we were kids, we were impressionable, we were made to do it, we were just following orders, right? We've heard that before. But now they're good guys. And then both these people are clashing heads because they're like, you know, you were so bad. How can you be good now? And Oliver, who's the main character, I think he's struggling with that realization, but also there seems to be something possessing him. He almost seems like an addict, and something is fueling his desire to take out all these other magic users who are now claiming to be good guys, right? And every time he kills them, he gets this rush of power. He gets a rush of their power. And it seems to be doing some things. It seems to be messing with them. So I think in this book, right, we get the ending of one arc, and we're going to get the start of a new arc that kind of explains what exactly is happening and what is causing Oliver to do the things he's doing. All right? Vanish, number 4. Check it out. It's only 4 issues in. Definitely worth a read. I think a lot of people would agree. All right. Next up, we got Something is Killing the Children 29, I believe. And this is the foil variant, the B cover. Oof, Dan Mora. And this is a beauty. Usually I just get the A covers, but I saw this and I just had to pick it up, right? I mean, this is a dope cover, and this is, I've heard a couple people say it, even Evil Mike. Check out Evil Mike. All right, he does a lot of cool reviews. He said this is the kind of foil he likes. I've heard other people say this is the kind of foil they wish they use on, like, you know, Magic the Gathering cards or something like that. This is just dope, right? It's not all foil. It's just foil where you need the foil. Besides that, you got Jessica Slaughter, still recovering from her injuries, all right? You got the character Cutter, if you're not familiar, an assassin for the House of Georges, heading out to kind of, take out Jessica, because Jessica has gone on her own. She separated herself from the House of Slaughter, and, you know, or the house, and she is on her own, trying to do her own thing, and, you know, they don't like that. They don't like not being in control. And that's pretty much what it is. It's a setup. There's a group of people who have been taking care of Jessica. She doesn't want to put them in danger, but she kind of has to, because in order to kill the monster, she's also, you know, slaughtering monsters. She has to use the girl who she thinks conjured the monster, and basically that means using the girl as bait. So it's the whole thing. Don't want to put you in danger, but I have to use you to bring out this monster. Kind of like defeats the purpose, right, of not wanting to put somebody in trouble. But that is the thing here, and she's got to do it before Cutter gets to her and, you know, tries to assassinate her, right? And meanwhile, she's still recovering from these injuries that have left her bedridden for the last, 3 issues. All right, comic fans, that was my new comic book day haul and review. All right, hopefully you enjoyed it. We got through the new books. I finished Flashpoint, finally, issue 6, and that wrapped it up in such a beautiful manner that I had to say, guys, go out and get that book. Just get the trade. Jeff Johns, excellent writer. We can say so much about him, good and bad, but at the end of the day, he tells really good stories. And then we had all those Spider-Woman 50 centers, right? Filling in some minor gaps in my collection and also some minor keys there, right? So do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to get ready for next week's books. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go ahead and throw me a thumbs up and comment down below if you enjoyed the content. Thank you for joining me. Peace. What's up, comic fam? Comic.